waited. He waited this year. I didn't go out one day. I didn't have any time.
And now we're live.
I think that would cover up your sentence.
Well, it covers everything. But here you go.
Which one?
Yeah.
Nothing worse than that's that heavy.
Sorry about that.
It's one of the things, though. You know, you say you never get used to it, but maybe you get used to it. Oh yeah.
Michelle does.
Oh, Michelle, I'm sorry. Michelle, yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Mr. Beal.
Funny guy.
Yes.
No?
She's got
Really?
a lot of her,
His son?
Hey,
Nope, well, he did for a while. They just, last time he worked at on the ferry.
They just switch ports, or do they just stop altogether?
Don't move.
How are you, Mrs. Beal?
I'm here.
Well,
Who
there
am I
you are.
talking to?
That's a good thing.
Who am I
Rick,
talking to?
Rick Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
Boy, would I give for a head of hair like that.
Oh, me
Son of
too.
a gun.
Some people are jealous.
Oh, no, I'm gonna go, I better not sit there, I gotta find a,
It's a
We
secret
can
over
put a
there.
chair, there's a chair over there, there's one up front.
Yeah, they're all pretty firm. There's a
really
lot of them
go.
over there.
They're more firm than most.
They're not bad.
They hold me, they'll hold
you
you.
wanna hear about it?
There, there.
It's terrible.
It's
It's from 2 months ago too, that's a reflection on 2 months ago. It's terrible. People can't people can't afford that.
It's ridiculous, because these people in business should be paying that. The deduction for them, and then they can raise the price of the product. It's wrong, wrong, wrong.
Hi, you doing? Good, you?
See you again?
Don't see
It
it
must
for
be-
months, and all of a sudden,
That's it. Must be spring getting out more, right?
yeah.
Did you go invoices from them? We got the invoices from Bartlett Julius, I sent that out to you and our secretary.
Yes.
Yeah, let me see the invoice.
Okay, good. So you sent that afterward.
Yep.
Did you go to the office before?
The meeting, before this? No. I haven't done it today.
So,
Is there additional stuff?
yeah, I put one thing in your,
Want to get names, just taking down names right now.
Oh, I think she put her name on there, so.
That's a Columbus.
Probably they started gonna put her name.
Congratulations, kind of thing.
She's checking names of the name tags, right? Making sure she knows.
There you go, see?
It's good news to know. Is this,
Yeah?
around that point.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking we're open.
It was probably not a good idea. But yeah, Brian.
They should tell her to sign her on that.
Making sure that this is working, Alex says it's working,
I don't know if she
so
knows that.
I'm going to assume it's working.
Hey, put the sidewalk probably.
So yeah, we're live right now.
Okay.
Do it, right?
Come on.
Ready to go, huh?
Well, it's just the way it goes too. You're gonna let the light snow right now, while everything's still soft. It'll be a nightmare.
Yep.
Well, that's how your hair looks now.
Everybody.
You got the girl.
Well, Rick, you don't have any problems with the sidewalk plow out at your house, do you?
I don't hear into any of those concerns.
Is it a big sidewalk?
Mhm.
Big sidewalk or no sidewalk?
No sidewalk.
Yeah.
I think it's going right to your left, Adam.
I could do that. I could just do that for you.
Yeah, I know
I
how
could
you.
zoom in and out.
It might be safer if I put this up here.
Zoom in
Hey,
and
I'll
out.
can it if you want.
You should be up close.
You mind if I watch?
We're sure on top of
There's
it.
too many places
Too
that
far
have
away, you
sidewalk
can't
problems.
understand it.
Right.
I can't help it.
They won't let you get closer?
Shovel in front.
I don't have anything plugged up close. And then I can't, with a high-tech camera, it won't let me zoom out.
unplug one of their mics and use it.
Chris, I can even narrate it if you want.
We'll have Adam narrate it, is that okay?
That thing actually has better sound than.
Just remember it's PG, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so we'll keep the PG.
Yeah, but the problem is that I can't zoom out far enough to get them all in.
You can move that chair. You want me to run it tonight? You want Cannon?
I'll let you do it. You wanna hold the mic too?
I'll hold the mic.
Now you make her show. We won't even go there. You sick puppy.
It's a little bit like Bob.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a bench.
That's before his time.
When I open my Word.
That's why he's only 14, right?
He doesn't remember about
I
that.
have to have.
What's going on here?
When I turn the water on.
Yeah, what's going on?
Do you know if it would?
You gonna put that right here? Are you gonna put it right here?
Yes.
Now you can be careful what you say.
We'll hear everything you say.
You know the big mic is over there.
It is.
It's everywhere. When do you see?
No, he's not a bigger, better thing.
I'll be watching when our team and he took all the water out of the place. So when the Scott went in.
You have heat there right now?
No, I can't afford that.
We get ready, especially.
I called him.
Well, what I'll do, don't move this. If you just hit this button right here, it'll record.
Which one? I can do that. Give me the wink.
And don't screw it up.
The one on the back.
Red one.
You wanna write it down?
No, give me the wink. I'm on.
I give him a wink.
Give me the wink. We watching.
I'll stand up for you if you want it, and I too. You can if you want to fight class, if you want to help with it.
Oh, no.
You wanna do it, you know how to zoom in and out?
It's on the top, you just slide it left or right.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
I know it's too high tech for you custom guys.
Yeah.
She called me, she said.
So right here, you hit this, like this, goes in.
I don't know, he was historically minded, you know.
Yes, now he is. He's.
So we can do, we can loosen this and then you
Yeah,
can
you
actually.
can transfer from her to him.
Well, now I'm jealous.
He loves it, he really loves it a lot.
It's up to you.
Up to you. Or if you don't do it, I'm gonna.
So you just have to loosen this.
Like last year, there is a sign-in sheet for people that want to speak today. Please
Matt, I
print,
want to
because
ask
there's no guarantee. I'm
My
gonna-
daughter is coming up from Connecticut. They wanna go 2 months up to Canada.
This is Beal.
Quebec.
Mrs. Beal,
Is there anything that they have to do special?
if you want to speak tonight, you've got to go up and sign in on that sheet of paper.
If I wanna speak to him,
And if you want to speak to the board, you have to sign in on that sheet.
The app,
oh, okay.
the right hand, and then
So I'll have to write that down. Live cam?
a live can.
Live cam, what the hell is that?
He is right next to you.
They have to get either the rapid. I'll tell you after.
They can do a rapid test? They'll accept
Well,
that.
there's,
Did you, as long as it's not at home.
Oh, okay. So if I go to my app store, it's gonna be in here.
What's your dad's name? Joe. Yeah, that's up with.
Or you need to give him $100.
This is
Well,
one
this is,
can.
we're going into Canada.
Right.
So what,
Come
how
back.
do I?
Come back, okay?
Oh, really?
It's nice,
You're gonna keep them picked up? No.
You gotta do it how long before you go in? Hour or two? Arrive camp.
The first time I did that, people were signing. So bad, I'm looking at
My bad, that's
the other table's not very well.
so you're Nicholas, Joe's boy? I thought I would never recognize you from your
That's
first
the right
birthday.
one?
First birthday party?
So just do get it?
And you fill out, make a little profile.
Melinda and Steve would know you so because they're
It'll
up there
tell
all
them
the
everything they
time.
need.
My daughter.
Okay, so then I'll just send you this,
He loves me.
exactly,
So very calm. She got such a good
so do both
life.
of
My
them
other
have,
daughter saying,
you
hey,
put
mama
multiple
dropped
people in the
dead.
one app, or?
I think so. They both got nice guys. They
Well,
both
thank
stay
you.
Steve.
Yeah, they both fully vaccinated.
Did they have COVID?
My daughter did.
When?
Oh my God. 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
If she has a positive test, then she does not need the test within.
Oh, she got it?
How you doing? Yes. You'll ask her those questions.
It's like we're gonna get a little snow there.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so I mean, that's the kind of, some people are, you know,
Just for a few hours, so not too bad.
So pretty good for you over here.
I know, right?
Well, they,
Yeah.
So this one
She's
here,
hoping
bud?
it's in early April though.
she's a nurse
Oh,
practitioner
be
at,
nice.
Yale
Go to
Hospital.
camp.
And
Oh,
he's
really?
a PA at
Well,
Yale.
we have a trailer up there on the
Kick
20
this off for a second.
Oh, no, sorry.
This is our only recommended now.
Do you hunt?
absolutely.
It's taken forever.
Do you hunt there in the fall? No.
We just have to get tested.
Big trailer park. Yeah,
That's in the industry we're working on.
I am working on it. I don't know, they're gonna wanna spend the money though.
Using my gun.
There, you see, I helped you out as well.
You did. Appreciate that. I do.
That's what I'm here for.
Absolutely.
I'll move over here so I don't bump you.
That way you don't say something you regret.
There you go.
I'll put this right in that.
No problem at all.
Good evening, sir.
How are you? Yourself?
Here is then that camera can't see the entire.
Oh, yeah, okay, huh?
Yeah, we'll push this here over there. And then we'll put it here. Let's do that.
Oh, it's 9:20. We got like 3 more minutes.
Okay.
Guess while I'm here.
Oh, you see our red dot.
How long is this, 20 years?
Yeah, it'll
At
say
least?
record. It's
Been a while.
I'll say it around here. So, yeah. To turn it, and I don't loosen this. Oh, you did. I won't interrupt you.
Still recording these meetings? Oh, okay. Six. your name on the radio the other night.
Few times?
Just once.
That was enough.
I only listened to, I only caught the last 10 minutes or so.
Were you watching the game on Saturday or Wednesday?
Saturdays,
Saturday.
on the radio. Listen to it on the radio.
Yep. That was quite the opponent. Fast,
New York City, right?
deep. They didn't even have to play the body. One penalty the whole game. 74 shots on that.
They did well, though.
They held their own.
They did very
For
well.
their level of play. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the people that signed up for public speaking today, do you want to go now or later? Scott?
Scott Richner, 16 Pratt Street. I just have a question. I'll be the first one to touch off the powder keg about power. Our hydro allotment, is that based on a total for the month, or is that a demand at any given time?
I think that's based on demand at any given time.
It's based on a contract signed with the New York Power Authority that goes through the year 2040. We're allotted 13,791 kW hydro demand.
Okay, so it goes by demand, not total. And the second question I had was, where are the village at on the sale, possible sale?
That was your thing, Brian. Did you ever get the appraisal? I reached out and contacted the guy.
He never got back to us. We were supposed to sign a contract with him for $1,500 to do the appraisal.
And I never got a contract from the site. I reached out to him a few times and
And actually, one more thing to do with the Robbie Way property. In talking to people, a lot of people have expressed an interest in possibly creating a community garden, because a lot of people don't have large enough yards to have a garden. If nobody were to be interested in that property, is that something we could explore doing there?
The thing is down there, Mr. Scott, that it used to be some blacktop in there, different places and stuff, and it was filled up a little bit because there used to be a trailer court there. So I don't know how good that would be to have it dug up or whatever.
So the best option would probably, if anything were to be done there, would probably be raised beds.
Yeah.
Something along that line.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking for that, but there's a lot of land we have next to the sewer plant. That might be better, but we'll still probably have to test that to make sure. We've got a lot of vacant land there. But I think that'd be the best spot. Next person, Nick Southwick.
Nick Southwick, 17 Washington Avenue. So a lot of people are asking about, wow, I can't read my handwriting. They're asking about Rider A, which is the New York State Municipal Power Authority authorizes that. Can you please explain, sort of on record, what Rider A does and why it wasn't in place before the winter months?
Rider A just allows us the ability to charge supplemental power to those who have a high demand, but don't necessarily have a lot of employment and don't fall into various different economic programs. So a data server, a Bitcoin miner, those would be paying for it. Plattsburgh uses it for a couple of places. I've been trying to get it going, but haven't had much luck.
Okay, I just.
Can I
wanna-
interject to that?
Yeah.
I also think too that you have to. It says does not qualify for the New York Power Authority Municipal and Rural Cooperative Economic Development Program. And I thought I thought you stated before that this company that you're talking about is part of that. That's why this is not done, for one thing. Plus two, if you look at that last meeting, Right Area was discussed by a customer who was not even a utility customer of us, of
Yeah,
ours.
not yet.
So
And Andrew and them are not here to discuss it yet.
you could probably tell them though on your computer there, though. I said you probably could tell them on your computer though.
I'm not quite, you think they're watching?
Probably.
Yeah. So we can't really, there's no talk about that class, we're not here.
Right.
Anything else, Nick?
Yes, I just wanted to, express my thanks to the village workers who were out a couple months ago when I think it was like a line snapped and power was out, and that was sub-zero temperatures. That was a lot of work, and I think we all appreciate their effort. It's a lot of hard work.
Thank you. No one can hear what is being said on the screen. Marilyn Beal?
Now, lifetime resident, 88 years old. The extra power that is necessary due to big businesses, I've been trying for years to get big business charged with that extra supplement that is, once we've used the hydropower, that was, years ago negotiated by previous boards, and that was for the people of Val's Point. And when big business comes in here, and they use Boku kilowatts, so you gotta buy supplements. I maintain that supplement should be distributed to the big businesses, and leave our little social security check alone. $150 this month from my little social security check. My pension check from Wyeth is $8.08. I called the Public Service Commission, and they tell me that, we've been going round robin. I said, years ago, we went around robin. I called the PSC, got a complaint number, and all they did was call the village board, and the village board called me, and we just
Goes round robin.
we're round robin for nothing. So, but this morning, I called, and he said that, the first lady I got, it, accidentally disconnected. So, the second one, I got a man, I asked him his name, and he said his name was Elliot. And he said what you have to do is petition them to change the way the billing is done. So can I ask you, Jedediah, Joel,
Petition the
and
company?
Benny, and Brian, and Bill, can you do that tomorrow morning and petition it? I mean, come on,
Petition the company?
petition to change the way you're, I think it's unfair to send any of that extra supplement on the village people. It should all be charged to all the big, you got your, plastics out there by the golf course. You got Lincoln Boulevard, the Custom House, and of course that, the complaint is about that big place that's heating the outdoors there right now. And they say it's so hot that the doors are open, and they are, I mean, that's a sin to waste like that. And they never should have been allowed in. I always told them, don't let that Bitcoin come in here, but they let that in a data center, and that's as bad because those machines have to be kept at a temperature that.
Who do
And
you
I
want us
asked
to,
you to do that tomorrow.
who do you want us to petition?
I can't hear you. I've got my hearing aids in and everything with fresh batteries, and I couldn't even hear these guys.
Who do you, Adam Peepath, who do you want us to petition?
Public Service Commission.
Oh, Public Service Commission.
And the man that told me that, his name is Elliot. And I didn't realize it, but all the numbers and stuff are on the back of the page that you send here, but I didn't know that. I went round robin trying to get numbers and names and how to go about getting it done.
Are they back on the back of your bill?
Yeah. Yeah, 800-342-3377. And even, you keep calling, and see, I don't have a computer, I'm not computer, I can use one, but I don't have one at home. I don't have a cell phone, well, I have one, my daughter gave me, but it's not something I use, like those things they use in here. I don't have that, and, all I do is look at the iPad. I don't know how to send or put anything on the iPad, but my daughter Melinda set it up and I can look at it and see the babies that live far away, and that satisfies me. That's all I want for it. But,
Can I get with you after the meeting so I can get that phone number? Because I've got a bunch of my bills for where I live, and I don't have the rest of that information that you've got on them.
If you get a bill in the mail, all that information is on the back of your bill.
Yeah, it's in there, I just don't have it.
Plus, it's also published on the website.
Well,
I call the village to get the number. 342.
342 to 3377?
3377. And then the other things that to write, they think you can write and you can get, 3 Empire State Plaza.
I know I've got this at home, but.
Who said that?
Just take care of this, be sure to get it.
It's plugged in there.
Now, is there any way we can get our money back?
No, unfortunately. I don't believe that there is one. Would there be a way to refund that Arsen? I don't think there is.
No.
It says here, if you send a complaint, I'm complaining, is there any way I can get my money back? You're gonna give it to those guys who are running a big business.
Maybe she can get a piece of Bitcoin.
Remind me not to buy anything from your business. Barely walk in my knees.
Some people can hear and some people can't. Any other public comments? That's allowed, it's the people that signed in.
Can I add myself to the list?
State your name.
Steve Diesel, 39 Montgomery. Mr. Mayor, have we established whether or not 64 Maple's breaking the law and mining cryptocurrency?
No one has given me probable cause to do anything. There's one place I did shut down, but they admitted to a police officer who then sent me that evidence that they admitted to Bitcoin mining. I have not had any evidence like that for that property over at Wyatt, and we can't really do much without probable cause, a sworn statement and an affidavit.
What type of businesses use that much electricity in that space and make that type of noise and open the doors in the wintertime?
That could be any number of companies.
Such as?
If you're looking at any tech company, if they're using computers for hosting web pages, servers for banks, servers
That'd be
for
a server.
hospital.
So that'd be a server farm,
Be a
right?
data
So
center.
it's either cryptocurrency or a server farm. Are there any other possibilities in that space?
Not that I can think of.
So both of those are against our local law, right? The law that I read.
Well, strictly speaking, I'm breaking it right now with this computer, that computer, myself.
I don't think you have a power load big enough to break our local law with those 3 devices.
The server farm doesn't require high density load.
So why is Ms. Field paying $150 extra on her light bill this month if it's not pulling a bigger load? It's not a high density load, but it's everyone's paying $100 in this room, or $150 in her case.
My sister, 160.
160 for her sister.
And so,
Pointing to somebody's like.
and most likely, I think, no, you know, I have an engineering degree, you know, I'm not stupid, I'm pretty sure they're mining cryptocurrency in there. Pretty sure there's probable cause. I mean,
Being pretty sure is not probable cause.
read the meter. I mean, so now all of the elderly people in the community are gonna suffer and spend another $150 a month so we can mine some Bitcoin for a couple more months?
None of what you've given me or told me is probable cause.
What else could be in there?
As I said, website hosting.
Which is a
financial
server farm.
services for
So besides a
banks.
server farm or a cryptocurrency mining facility, what else could be in that building using that much electricity? That type of load. Like, what else could be in there?
I'm not going to speculate on that.
Are they making Teslas in there? I haven't seen anything out.
Mayor for our village.
I think somebody needs to look into it. I mean, the residents are hurting now. You know?
And I'm mad too.
Yeah, I understand you're on a fixed income. That's inappropriate.
Yeah.
To have a company that's most likely breaking the law, not be investigated, not paying taxes because they have 15 years of no taxes, so they're not supporting our community.
No, they're still paying taxes. The way that thing works, let's say if the property's worth $100,000, they're paying property taxes on $100,000. But if they build something on it that brings up to $200,000, they're only paying for the $100,000, and then it's like 5 years, and it's prorated to the rest of the 15.
So what is that building that they have, they demolished all the buildings, so what are they paying taxes on? Probably less than one of our houses.
If
If they're taking $150 from every person in the community,
How's that economic growth?
it's not economic growth.
Well, they want to build.
For one
And
person.
how can we sign a rider A with a company that's most likely breaking a local law and hasn't fessed up to it? We don't even know what they're doing. How are we gonna sign a rider A with them?
I don't know what tenants are in there.
We don't even know what the tenants are. It's just a hotel for whoever wants to be in there, plug their computer in. The only people that we know are in there is Harry, because he comes.
Harry's a consultant.
Yeah.
2 CSRI,
2 CSRI,
who they came.
RPNY.
RPNY Holdings.
Did somebody have to issue a certificate of occupancy and such?
That was my question.
Well, it's like a hotel, and we just don't know who's in the hotel.
State your name, please.
Hi, I'm Laura Bird Sisson. I live in 2 Rock Street, and I have a couple questions. The first one is, so I'm learning about the process. So I got this letter in the mail about the increase in electric costs, and I am really happy that we use the hydro plan, but I'm not happy that our rates have increased significantly this month. So my first question had to do, because I'm hearing, you know, different things, and I'm wondering what's true, what's not true, and how can we get to the bottom of this? And this is why I'm here at the meeting. So my first question was, if there are businesses that we're not really sure, my husband is a building inspector, so I thought there has to be an inspection in this new workplace or business, right? Because when something is created, there has to be certain certificates. So were there inspections of this workplace that were passed?
From my understanding, there was an inspection done to get a certificate of occupancy, but I don't have the information on that because that was a little bit over a year ago.
Are there anything else, like, this lady was just talking about, Ms. Beal was talking about, that would clue us into, like, the type of business and specific, like, wattage use or anything like that, that would help us understand what's happening in this
We're
business?
trying to inspect the building, but they won't allow us in the building at this time.
So then they don't have they don't have a license to run then, or operate? I mean, I don't know the technical terms.
There isn't really a business licensing process in village law. They register with the county. Like when I started my businesses, I registered the business name with the county.
Yep.
And then just started operating. My insurance inspection business is not on the village webpage because it's a small business listing. But my drone company is, and that's about all the paperwork I had to do in the village.
there were inspection, for me, it's good to know, it's reassuring to know that the inspection was tried, but, you know, like you said, they wouldn't allow people in the building. Then the second question I have has to do with the breakdown of specific costs. In here it says, substantial amounts of electricity to conduct business, that certain customers required that, and other factors. So, luckily, our rates haven't gone up since December 13th, 2013, when Aris was in semi-full swing. I mean, some of you know when Aris shut down, but that employed like 1,200 people. So is there any way for me as a consumer to feel better about my electric bill in knowing this is how much is allotted by residents, and then this is how much is allotted by business, and then, like, let's say for 100 workers, this is how much electricity is being consumed, but for a small business under 10, this is how much. So in other words, like a graph to show the allocation.
So you're looking at metadata.
Sure.
Jay,
Yes.
Arsen has some numbers that may be able to address that. Arsen, can you share them?
The billing that just went out March 1st, what I did was the total billing, we sold 10,701,856 kilowatt hours. And out of that, the residential sales were 4,692,141, which is 43.84% of the total sales. Commercial sales was 864,435, which is 8.08% of sales. Industrial sales was 4,711,200, which is 44.02% of sales. Municipal street lighting was 22,161 kilowatt hours, which is 0.21% of sales. Other public street lighting, total bill was 696 hours, which is 0.01%. Other municipal sales, 307,176 was 2.87%. And other public authority sales, 94,975 for 0.89%. And sales to railroads was 9,072 for 0.08%.
And then Arsen, could you share what the residential usage was comparable last year to this year?
This year, the residents used approximately 495,000 additional kilowatt hours.
This month or in?
No, compared to the same period last year.
Compared to the same period last year.
And then, well, I'm not going to go by category. I only looked at two of them. The other one was industrial sales. That's 4 million more than 4 million more than it was
4 million more
same as last year.
Million or billion?
4 million.
4 million
more for industrial.
So commercial, you broke it into residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal. So commercial and industrial. Can you just give me the real breakdown? Because I was thinking commercial or business, right? And industrial is.
Commercial is
commercial
business,
would probably
you
be
get
like-
more like hotels,
My
shops.
business is.
Right.
But
Yes.
we have
How are
we have the two industrial.
How are they two different,
Tell
commercial
them
and
which ones are
industrial, like in a very small
We
synopsis?
only have two customers that are industrial. I'm not going to name them, but there's only two of them. So
Why
that's
can't-
right. That's right in the annual report. So that's public information. So
Why wouldn't you name them?
Do you want to give us consent to name the industrial
paying in my
customers?
bill for them,
I'm not
part of me
entirely
paying.
comfortable doing that.
Okay.
You can pay $100 or $150
That's
more.
why
I'm here though.
I would say it's probably Champlain Plastics and 64 Montgomery Street. Champlain's Plastics was here last year.
So I guess this is the thing, right? So I'm just,
Not-
I don't know
not
much about,
Montgomery.
obviously, I feel like the town does a really great job. I should have said that first. I like the town I live in. This is worrisome to me, especially people on a fixed income. So I'm trying to get down to where the increase, is there even an increase? Because we know March is the coldest month. So these are the questions I'm asking. So it's a matter of public record, but if you want me to come into the office and dig through some files, I can take a day off work and do that. But basically, if I'm paying, someone's asking for me to pay for this, but I don't even know the allocation of where this is going. So it's troubling.
The biggest is the $4 million increase in industrial.
Okay,
or the
thank
4
you.
million kilowatt hour.
Kilowatt hours.
Or kilowatt hours.
And that's just within a month or within the last?
That was,
Same time period as
Time
last
period
year.
that you have crunched. Thank you for having those statistics ready. I really appreciate that.
What would that work out to percentage-wise from year to year? Percentage increase?
well, you're looking at.
Well,
That would probably
100%.
help break it down.
We didn't plan the percent for that, so I'm sorry.
And you know, I know
Do you
that
have that?
industrial is a good thing too, because it employs people.
You know, if you're saying
Yeah, they don't
the
employ
residential went up 0.2% and the industrial went up 40%, you know where the increase is.
Just an approximate.
Yeah.
Right.
Last year, 2021, the industrial sales were 741,600. This year, they're 4,711,200.
So what's the percentage? They want to know what's the percentage?
So that's the
Oh, I
bigger.
got it.
So
Yeah, that's
740 is a six-fold increase.
Just
It's a six-fold increase.
I hope the Sun newspaper will publish that.
Do you have,
Someone's absorbing the
Whose
cost.
pocket is this going into?
do you have
It's
to find
taken out of
like
Mrs.
the
Beal.
last 12 months?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can I get those? Because I'd like to graph that out. I like to make graphs.
Yep.
Do you have it going back the past 2 years?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not anti-business. I just want to say that as a resident. I'm not, it's just,
You just want to understand what's going on.
yeah. So people can make informed decisions and we all we wanna see our town flourish. We know we have cheap electric here and that will bring businesses, but we want it to be, I think we'd want it to be fair for the people who are, we don't want all that cost thrown on the shoulders of the people. It should be more fair, be spread out, that's all I'm saying.
And Jen, as our mayor, you should be advocating for people like Mrs. Beal, who's 88 years old, who's coming out at night in the winter. You should be helping out our village, advocating for this, finding out the explanation for her.
I may still.
I wanted to have a sit down and talk with like ERS and these people to figure out, okay, if you're gonna be using this much power, how can we figure out how to set it up so that you're not hurting the already existing residents?
Yeah.
I've tried to have several meetings. Harry has seemed open to negotiations and what they're willing to pay for their rate, so that wouldn't harm the residents. I just haven't had luck getting meetings.
I'm Matt Morris. I live at 18226 Watertown, New York, and I'm part of Lincoln Infrastructure and Commonwealth Energy. And so I want to piggyback on that last comment. Look at this.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow, if you will.
Hold on, please. So, I'm not done yet.
Oh.
So, that last comment and the comment over here, the key word is fair, right? I think what we want is just things to be fair. It's not fair for big business to come in and suck up a lot of energy, pass on the bill to residents, right? What the mayor is saying is that he's trying to have meetings, he's trying to have negotiations, and I can tell you that our company absolutely 100% has said from the very beginning that we want to sit down, negotiate, and talk about how we can take care of the energy issue and not pass on any costs to the residents. And those negotiations and those attempts have failed. Because there's certain people that apparently don't want to negotiate. So I open the door again. That's absolutely what we want to do. And it is incredible that someone's bill like this would increase like that on a fixed income. That ought to be criminal. All right? So let's get to the table. Let's talk about it. Let's get to fair so that as a town, you can increase business, bring in new tax base, and it's fair to the residents. Does that make sense? That's all we're trying to get to, but apparently that's very difficult for some reason. So I offer that up to you.
I brought it up, but we want to talk also with ERS, the people that get the bill, and we're waiting to hear back from our lawyer on everything.
Quick question,
Condo, you're just a consultant and you're not the bill payer, so we have to bring ERS into this.
Correct.
They're the bill payer.
Yeah.
But Convol's Energy and Lincoln Infrastructure are no longer a tenant, correct? They're a consulting firm.
Correct, we're a consultant, that's correct.
Yeah, so how can you negotiate the power usage when you're no longer a tenant in that building?
That's why I just said we need ERS involved as well.
So they're gonna negotiate the next 4 million that we add on top? for the next 150 we add onto our bill every month? Is that where we're at?
Negotiating the entire bill, how that works, but.
How are you gonna negotiate, how are you gonna negotiate with somebody who's breaking the law, though?
Yeah, right now we're 6-fold higher for industrial usage, and now we're gonna negotiate with the next company, Conval and Lincoln Infrastructure, who's not a tenant, who's a consultant. So they want more power on top of what they're already using. What about what they're already using? What about the 6-fold increase in industrial usage for this year? What about those tenants?
I'd be approaching negotiations from the standpoint of the entire company, not just what we're currently.
Well, we don't even know who the tenants are to negotiate with, because they haven't gotten a list, right?
We don't even know what's in the building.
We don't know what's in the building, we don't know who the tenants are. We know that Harry's a consultant, but he doesn't use energy right now because he's not a tenant. But we're gonna have a negotiation with these people we don't know what they're doing. But Harry's willing to, I'm glad Harry's willing to negotiate, but he's not using energy right now because he's a consultant, not a tenant.
Be part of my negotiation would be to find out what's going on there before we.
I think that's a great place to start.
But we have to get the talk
We
started.
gotta get to the table and talk. That's the hardest part right now, because our lawyer's not here to help. Push this along. I've sent emails. Chris has sent emails.
And I've been sending emails for a while, so you're finding out. That's what I've been having.
I was gonna bring it up to Tom today, but he's not here.
Well, tomorrow morning, are you gonna petition the Public Service Commission to change the way this is happening?
Yep, I've got their phone number now, so I can give them a call.
Yeah. I'm gonna lose my 150 this month, and every month previous to that, I've been signing my check paid under protest.
Why don't we give it
again? We were supposed to get that back, you know, and what they tell me that when they put the tank in, that 100,000 went for the tank instead of to us. I was told from somebody previously on the board, said, no names, that's what I was told, so whether it's fact or not, I'm not sure, but that's what I was told.
That was probably a couple of years ago. I haven't heard about it.
10 years ago.
10 years ago? Well, it was 10 years ago, probably bad, okay.
So I'm still waiting for one money to come back. And they just asked for way too much.
When you get the answer from Public Service, you're gonna get a bird call.
Can I get your phone number? After the meeting, not publicly, because I don't want your phone
I
number.
can't hear you. You want my phone number?
After the meeting. So I call them, I can call you back with an update.
Yeah, yeah.
She has an
And
account
I'm
on
in the
file,
book,
right?
always been in the book.
She has an account on file,
We
so
have her
you can get
number.
it from them.
We have a number.
6171, really easy to remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not before 10 o'clock.
But not before 10 o'clock.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
I won't hear the phone, it's in my ear. and wasting your time.
I'm a night owl, don't worry about that happening. Okay, that's enough for open session right now. Minutes of the previous meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as
I'm just
written.
gonna read the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Bills, any additions, modifications, or questions?
We have one addition. It's the Industrial Filter and Pump Manufacturing Company. It's for filter bags for the water plant. $344.18.
Make a motion, we pay the bills as amended. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I'll sit. I can't understand what you're saying. And I put new question, batteries in my ears.
Correspondence.
Very frustrating.
One thing that I have for correspondence, Mr. Mayor, is at the last zoning board meeting and the last board meeting, there was conversation about the comprehensive, the smart growth comprehensive plan. As far as where it stands, I indicated that I would reach out. I reached out to New York Department of State, and the individual that's handling this grant for us, her name is Lisa Melville. And what Lisa indicated to me is that currently our contract is in the draft stage, and it could take 2 weeks or up to a month if not longer, before the contract would be approved, before it would be forwarded to the village.
Okay.
The other thing that I want to share with you is based upon the terms and conditions of the grant. The project is estimated to cost about $85,000. $76,500 of that would be grant money, and the village would have to do a match of $8,500. The $8,500 has been presented to Treasurer Letourneau to be budgeted for the upcoming budget.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
That's actually really good news.
Did you hear me?
What's 85,000 for?
For our Smart Growth Comprehensive Plan. Still no go?
Never mind.
It's my mask, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody's writing it down or something, I should be able to read it.
Yeah, I'll do all the minutes for you.
Is that all the correspondence?
That's all the correspondence.
Are there? Okay. So for me, about the meeting. I'd just like to have a small motion. Who on the board is ready and willing to meet with these people? Or to figure out what's going on there, what we can do about the energy costs, make sure that they're paying their share so it doesn't fall on the residents to pay the supplemental.
Well, right now, it's in the attorney's hands, we were told that.
Oh, this is a resolution just for the board, like, are we willing to do this? I make the motion for the resolution.
Are we in the process of, didn't ERS attorneys say that the only ones that they can talk to is our attorney? That's what I'm under the impression.
Yeah.
Now, we can't talk to nobody.
We're not talking to them independently, it's just, though we as a board support having a conversation.
Works with anybody.
Motion, second?
No second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. With legal counsel, obviously.
Right. It just can't be like one or two on.
And top up. And that's all I've got.
No, you have the resolution, Judge.
Oh, that's right, the resolution, it's not on the agenda, so that's almost necessary. Okay, resolution 2022-08, Village of Rouse's Point, Knights of Columbus, Council number 2366, 100th year anniversary. Whereas more than 100 years ago, a group of 105 Knights of Columbus members from various areas were gathered in the Village of Rouse's Point, expressing an interest in the order and the need of a meeting place. And whereas these gentlemen formed the a club for knights only, and a charter was sought and granted, resulting in the birth of Rouse's Point Knights of Columbus, number 2366, on April 2nd, 1922. And whereas on August 13th, 1925, it was moved that money be set aside for building a building fund, and on May 28th, 1930, the lot on which the present St. Patrick's Parish Center now stands. And whereas through the hard work and efforts of many knights, the building fund grew, and in 1952, the members of Council 2366 established a building committee whereby plans were formulated for the erection of a new home. In 1953, the original council rooms were vacated, and the formal dedication ceremonies of the new building were held November 8, 1951. Whereas the council rooms have served as the locale for activities of many civic organizations and various celebrations, and whereas council number 2366 have grown and prospered for 100 years, and whereas the officers, members, and families of the Rouse's Point Council number 2366 have been and are dedicated to family life and lending assistance to the less fortunate of the community, and whereas the members have dedicated themselves to the ideas of charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rouse's Point salutes Council number 2366 on its 100th anniversary and extends congratulations to all members in such a memorial event. Roll call vote.
Trustee Pelkey?
Aye.
Trustee Menard?
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Aye.
Trustee Arno?
Aye.
And Mayor Schoen?
Aye. Oh, my favorite mispronunciation.
I'm sorry.
And I'll sign this too. Trustee Arno. Lit, you got anything on the list? Do we have anything on the rec center ceiling? Oh, in the roof? In the roof, yeah. Chris?
So, we do have an estimate to replace the roof, and it's approximately $74,000. My recommendation, to the board would be to grant this to go out to bid.
We have to go out to bid.
Right, because of the dollar amount, it needs to go out to bid.
Think we can get a grant for this or something, probably?
I can check and see, from what I've been seeing so far, there's really nothing out there, but they're coming out with different things every day. So, but we definitely are in dire need of a new roof. I mean, we're having problems in the back section of the Civic Center where the Zamboni comes out, where the insulation is actually falling onto the ice, which is causing a hazard to the players. The Public Works guys, Adam, have came out and with the air compressor, they tried to blow it off. We seem to be having a problem with increased humidity in the rink that's causing the insulation, but we have leaks in the ceiling or in the roof, so it's in dire need to be replaced. One of the bid or contract prices that came through, what they're proposing to do would to be fur the roof up with 2x4s and then put tin over the top of it. For the price of the $74,000, I think it's feasible. And I discussed it with Arsene, and it's something that we're going to have to budget. We have a nice facility, we just can't let it fall to pieces.
Something that really needs to be done in a building with a roof.
And this has been going on for a period of time. It's not like it just started last night. It's been going on for a long time.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to make a motion to put it out to bid, or?
Make a motion, we put the Civic Center roof out to bid.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for bringing that up, Benny.
That's all I have for now. Trustee Menard?
I have nothing at this time.
Trustee Pelkey?
The Rouse's Point Stars and Stripes celebration is the weekend of the 24th to the 26th. So I know a lot of people have been calling and wondering when our 4th of July celebration is really not called the 4th of July celebration anymore. It's called the Stars and Stripes. So it is the weekend of the 24th to the 26th. And if you go on the village website, there's a tab on there where you can click on it and it gives you the Facebook page for the Stars and Stripes. And they have a lot of information out there. They're doing fundraisers right now. There's a committee meeting once a month, the first Tuesday of the month at the American Legion. Get more and more volunteers to show up that want to participate, so it's all good. So we are having our, this year they're going with like, everything seems to be bigger and better, like fireworks, the parade, we're trying to get more floats and more bands. They're doing carnival again. Fire department's doing the chicken barbecue. There's events that's happening, entertainment on the weekend down here. There's a craft show that's going to be put on where there's going to be craft booths where you can go around and see different things that people are making that they're selling. So everybody marks their calendar for the weekend of the 24th to the 26th. A lot of people are from out of town. They like to come home and visit their family, and that's the weekend.
That's June.
In June, yes. June 24th and 26th.
The 24th and 26th of June is going to be the 4th of July celebration in Rouse's Point.
Yep, Village Hall Yard Sale.
That's going to happen that weekend too. Brian's going to get to that.
I'll hire some help.
The second thing I have is, I'd like to, I guess, put it in the form of a motion to authorize the village to do, the village wide yard sale on the weekend before, that would be June 18th, for all the residents. People look forward to coming around this point, going to different yard sales. So I think that's one of the motion that we, sponsor. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll have. Trustee Rodriguez?
Tom's not here today, so.
Any other reports?
I actually have, and I don't know if we want to discuss it in an open forum or in executive session, but a bill that we received from PLM. And the bill's in the amount of $760. And this bill results from the consulting from when we were changing the breaker over at the substation. And Jed, you were involved in this. It has to deal with conversations or emails that I had with Andrew. And Andrew wanted to know exactly the specs that were going to be taking place as far as transferring from the breaker that's around now over to the new part of the substation. And I sent it over to Jason. Jason sent an explanation, but Andrew wanted something from the engineer, which is PLM. And for that response, which you were CC'd in on, they're charging us $760.
And that was for Andrew to ask that question.
Well, Andrew actually asked me the question, but I'm not an electrician, so I couldn't answer it. So I sent it to our chief of our electric crew, to Jason, who turned around and tried to answer it, but Andrew was not satisfied with Jason's response, so then we had to send it over to Matt at PLM to get his response. So essentially it cost the village $760 for their response.
Personal charging tool? Billing them for it?
Billing who?
Well, and PRS, I suppose. Because this is direct tech support for them, we probably wouldn't have taken that cost on otherwise. I don't know what the legalities of that would be, how we can do that, and that's a top question. Here.
Just a question, was the answer that our chief electrical guy gave the same answer that Theon gave?
Matt had more details. So, but I just didn't want to authorize this bill to be paid because I didn't feel that it should be an expense that the village residents take on without the board giving its consent.
Yeah, that's a fair question, because that's not something we asked, that was.
But on the other side, at the board meeting, the board said that there would be no additional charge to ERS for this action.
Because of the safety issue. I'll make Andrew aware of it, and then.
Essentially, the village is responsible. The bill came to the village.
It needs to be paid, clearly. I think they should pay it, but we might have to pay Andrew and the village doesn't know. Because if I want to bill it to them, since this is something they asked, and it was something they asked for a specific answer from an engineer. I make a motion that we pay for the time being just to get the bill, so there's no late fees or anything like that. And then we have a discussion with Tom about that and ERS going, this is something you asked and incurred the village and expense for your benefit, and we want you to pay for it. But in the meantime, I don't want to be sitting there getting late and accruing any late fees.
Okay. So did you want to get a second of your motion?
Seconds? No. So we'll just sit on it for the time being. Because I can also understand just sitting on it for a bit, sorting this out. Is there any other reports? Any other unfinished business?
We need to schedule a budget meeting. I'd like to have it Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Is that this Wednesday?
That's correct?
Tonight?
Yes.
Okay. I'm good with that time. Is everybody else good with that time? Wednesday at 4 o'clock?
Did you wanna do it here or at the village office?
Here.
Here?
That's all I have.
Okay. I have one more thing, Jim.
I think something should be said about Lakeside Coffee. They were just awarded Small Business of the Year from the Chamber of Commerce, and I think that's very important for us. I mean, they do an excellent job there. If anyone goes there,
He agrees.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that.
One other thing. I'd just like to remind the village residents that our village elections are next Tuesday on the 15th. Please get out and vote. That's all I have.
Are we gonna send a letter, resolution or anything to coffee shop or whatever?
I think we should. Yeah, we can. I think so. I think this is worthy of that. A resolution like with the Knights of Columbus.
Yep, also.
We could do the roll call vote now, and that way it all just has to be written out. We just have to sign it later. Should we do that, Chris?
We can do that.
Okay,
So it's
one
gonna
for
be,
the coffee shop and one for the Knights of Columbus.
We're getting.
We got the Knights of Columbus done, I did that resolution this morning. So,
So do you want to do a roll call vote for the
for the
coffee
resolution,
shop?
yes, trustee Pelkey,
Aye.
trustee Menard,
Aye.
trustee Rodriguez,
Aye.
trustee Arnold,
Aye.
and Mayor Thorne.
Aye.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Thank you. Any last minute papers for the final public session? Go once, twice, 3 times, and that is a no. Need a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can you give me those once that's on?
Tell me about
Wait.
those figures that you were doing.
Huh?
You got